In what appears to be a major shift in his approach to the war in Ukraine, President Trump has announced that billions of dollars of US military equipment will be made available to Ukraine and its allies. Under the deal, America will sell weapons to NATO members who will then supply them to Ukraine. Mr. Trump has also given an ultimatum to President Putin: end the war in 50 days or face 100% tariffs imposed against Russia and its trading partners. Let's go live to Washington and to our correspondent, Tom Bateman. And Tom, this feels like a complete U-turn, is it?
Well, this is the most significant switch by President Trump so far back towards support for Ukraine. Now, it doesn't return the situation to the days of the Biden administration, for example, when the US was supplying American arms to the tune of nearly $70 billion in the space of under 3 years, all of that backed by Congress. But this is a major change in tone and action from the Trump administration, announced today alongside the head of NATO, the alliance, remember, that President Trump was once said to have toyed with pulling the US out of. All of this coming at a moment for Kyiv of uneasy relief. Ukraine's rescue teams douse the impact of the intensifying and deadly waves of Russian drone strikes. This one overnight in the northeastern city of Sumy. Moscow has been continuing to show what it thinks of the US president's attempts to push peace.
We are very unhappy, I am, with Russia.
Mr. Trump's increasingly visible irritation with Vladimir Putin led to today's ultimatum.
And we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days.
The threat involves US tariffs of 100% on countries that trade with Russia, including buying its oil. Mr. Trump then addressed the issue of US arms to Ukraine.
And we made a deal today, and I'm going to have Mark speak about it, but we've made a deal today where we are going to be sending them weapons and they're going to be paying for them.
By they, he meant European NATO countries paying. But crucially, the White House is back engaging with fresh arms supplies for Ukraine, something the head of NATO has been trying to nurture for months.
I was Vladimir Putin today and hear you speaking about what you were planning to do in 50 days. And this announcement, I would reconsider whether I should not take negotiations about Ukraine more seriously than I was doing at the moment, if I was Vladimir Putin.
The president then returned to his recent theme that Putin was a leader who talks nice in the day but bombs at night.
I go home, I tell the First Lady, I spoke to Vladimir today. We had a wonderful conversation. She said, oh, really? Another city was just hit. So it's like, look, he's, I don't want to say he's an assassin, but he's a tough guy. It's been proven over the years. He's fooled a lot of people. He fooled Bush. He fooled a lot of people. He fooled Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden. He didn't fool me.
The NATO deal amounts to a pivot by Mr. Trump, given the previous admiration he's voiced for the Russian leader. As he has sought a ceasefire deal, he's never publicly detailed significant concessions he expects from Moscow. It means Ukraine will now get more of the Patriot air defences it badly needs. They'll come from European countries replenishing their stocks with new orders from the US.
You're gambling with World War III.
This is a significant shift from the leader who had tried to blame Ukraine for the war, even at one point suspending US arms shipments. Mr. Zelensky tonight said he had spoken with President Trump, thanking him for what he called a very good conversation and the willingness to support Ukraine. But calming nerves in Kyiv will take much more, as today's announcement is still a far cry from the Biden-era arms supplies. For Ukraine, Mr. Trump's support is indispensable, but erratic. Its words of thanks will be essential, but they don't mask the unease in this alliance. Tom Bateman, BBC News, Washington.
Well, let's speak now to our Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg. And Steve, has this prompted any reaction from the Kremlin?
Still no reaction from the Kremlin, but the Moscow Stock Exchange has reacted to the announcement. It rose by nearly 3%. And that is because I think Russia was bracing itself for even tougher sanctions, even tougher measures to be announced by President Trump. I mean, if we take those secondary tariffs that he talked about, they will only kick in 50 days' time. That gives Russia plenty of time to try and come up with a counter proposal to try to delay those tariffs even more. It also gives Donald Trump time to change his mind. But those arms supplies to Kiev, that will not go down well with the Russians, although they will probably point out that now it's up to European governments to foot the bill, and can Europe afford to do that? But one thing is clear, Donald Trump is frustrated and disappointed with Vladimir Putin, but it works both ways, you know. One of Russia's top newspapers today wrote this about Donald Trump, that he has delusions of grandeur and a big mouth.